Hello again. So I think the funniest thing, I was thinking about this before I even started the video, is that I have this picture frame right here that has like, I've had this thing for so long, I really need to put pictures in it. But anyway, so just bear with me in my non-existent frame, or non-existent photos in this frame. So I wanted to talk about, this is gonna sound kind of morbid, but just some of the things that I guess I experienced like after my mom's passing. And I'm not sure, I don't think I'll be able to do all of this in one video, but I don't know, maybe, who knows. So my mom passed away on January 24th in 2022. And like I said in the previous video, she was having back surgery, wasn't really doing very well health-wise, and she collapsed in the hospital. They said about like 3 in the morning, and so I was really grateful because she was under like the care of doctors, and like I said, it was kind of just set up. By set up, I mean like how the Lord, I guess, like set it up, and how everything was done for my mom as far as like where she was and just everything. Sorry, it's kind of hard to like go into. It was just in an awkward way good. I know that's kind of weird to talk about with like someone passing away. But I wanted to talk about, I guess, some of the things that I experienced from family members. So as I said in the last video, there were people that came to, I guess, see my mom, and they did not tell me that they were coming, or just, I guess, the severity of her health and what was going on in the hospital. And my mom and I were not on the best terms at the time due to everything that I previously said, as far as like relationships and me getting closer to the Lord and asking her questions about my family and things like that. So it was already a very like sensitive relationship. I hope that that makes sense. And I was just going through so many things mentally that the time that my mom tried to tell me about the back surgery and whatnot, and I guess maybe she would have gone into depth about the severity, I just could not. I think I was so hurt, like I couldn't take, sorry, this is hard. I couldn't like I couldn't take talking to her. And like, I remember telling her to like leave my house. It had gotten so bad that like I ended up like blocking her on my phone, and just like, I don't know, it was just like really bad. So to make like all of that, we were already not in a good place, obviously. And so I was getting closer to God, and the Lord was just like giving me like revelation on stuff, and I had started dreaming around that time, which is something that I specifically asked God for, and specifically asked to have dreams, because I knew that that was a gift, and I knew that that was something that He like. I knew that that was how God spoke to specific people and certain people, and I had never dreamt before. I used to smoke a lot of weed, and so I would just like smoke before I went to sleep, and I would go to sleep and wake up. So there was never any dreams, any nightmares. Like I had never had anything really happen to me like while I was sleeping. So that was something that I specifically prayed and asked God for. Just, I would say, the year before my mom died. So it's kind of, again, time is kind of hard for me. So I was having all these dreams about just, and I didn't necessarily know what to do with them then, or how to process them then, and I don't have any of those dreams because I just erased them all, but I do remember some of them just because they were so vivid. And some of them were about my mom's house, some of them were about my family. I just didn't really I guess, I didn't really know what to do with them at the time. And then when my mom passed away, it's like the dreams that I had 2 to 3 months prior, they kind of started making sense. And even if I didn't have them written down, the Lord would bring them back to my memory, or I would remember certain bits and pieces about them that I didn't know what it meant at the time, but then I would be in the scenario at a later date, or in that current moment, I remember something from the past. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, like I said, I had prayed for my mom. I'm gonna move this down a little bit. I prayed for my mom, and she collapsed, and I had this overwhelming peace come over me. And just the Lord just strengthened me to just get through. I don't really know how I did it, because I didn't do it, he did it, but I don't know how I would have done it without him. I also had, sorry to go back and forth, but I also had a lot of friends that, because my mom was the only person around me, or only person in my life. I've only been to one funeral, and my mom was the only person that I had die that I was very close with and loved and knew. I've never experienced death really. But I know it just changes people. And I had previously seen it change people for just, I know it's hard. I'm not belittling people's feelings or emotions or anything, but it just really changes people. And I think the Lord kind of prepared me for that. And so it wasn't my mom's death that was so heavy. It's sad, obviously, and it's my mom, but I think we were already kind of emotionally separated for so long that I wish we would have been able to kind of resolve some of the conflicts, but her health and just the Lord's will and whatever was just obviously the priority. And so I was just at peace knowing that my mom wasn't suffering anymore, knowing that she wasn't in pain anymore, knowing that she wasn't depressed anymore, sleeping all day anymore. My mom was not doing very well, and she probably, I don't know if she would have really expressed it, or at least it wasn't expressed to me. Also being an athlete and being pretty healthy, I'm a healthy human being. I don't, or I didn't really understand some of the medical terms without an explanation, or me going to doctor's appointments with her. And I was kind of, I guess, under the impression that you go to the doctor and you come home, and not in a selfish way, but I think that's just, I guess that's kind of all I knew. So I didn't understand how severe some of her illnesses were. So anyway, okay, so after that, I'm at the hospital. I talked to my mom's friend that was staying with her, and she is she calls me in the middle of the night. I woke up in the middle of the night randomly, peacefully, just woke up, and I looked at my phone, and this was right before I was trying to go get a COVID test. I had the COVID test scheduled for that same day, but my mom had passed away that morning, and I just knew when I looked at my phone that just all the missed calls, and the hospital was calling me. I knew. So I called her friend back, and I was okay, I'm on the way. I'm not really obviously in a place to talk, but I'm just gonna get in my car and I'm going, and I think that was the fastest I've ever gotten to Spartanburg, without getting a ticket. It's a good hour and a half. It wasn't even in Spartanburg, it was Greenville, but whatever. The upstate of South Carolina. It was just a good hour and a half drive, and I'm pretty sure I got there in 45 minutes. It was just, yeah. So I get there, and the family members that I do not necessarily get along with. They somehow meet me at the bottom of the like downstairs, and I'm like, this is not the time, like I don't want to talk to you, like, and I just immediately just bolt up the steps, like I don't even know, I think 4 flights of steps. I just ran up the steps, and I just like went to the nurse, and they were like yelling some things at me, but whatever, like my mind was not really focused on that. And so the nurse asked me if I wanted to see my mom, and at first I was just like, okay, no, I don't know. This is a really weird thing to answer. Like, I have no idea, but I didn't want to not do it, like, and then regret that I didn't see her because I wasn't able to like be there. This is really hard. So like when I saw her, it was just so awkward. Like, it was just weird because it was like the most peaceful that I had ever seen her. I don't really know how to explain it. But like, for something that I didn't think that I wanted to do, like I didn't think that I would have wanted to see her, you know, it just was so peaceful. Like, I don't even really know how to explain it. So that is probably something that I'm like really proud of, because I couldn't be there. And like I couldn't have visited anyway. Like, they were like upset about the whole COVID thing, because I did have COVID. I had it, and I was like in the process of like getting rid of it, but because of my mom's health, like I couldn't be there. So it was just like a lot of moving parts and conflict and family stuff, and just I had COVID because I was coaching volleyball at the time, and so I had just gone to a tournament, gotten COVID. I felt fine, but my family is not necessarily the healthiest, so I was not able to visit them, obviously. So we do the arrangements for, you know, just like setting everything up for her, whatever's next. I don't even really know what I did. I just was following the instructions because I was just kind of like, just okay. And you would think that like said family members would have like waited, and they didn't. They took my mom's things, they took her phone, they took her clothes, and left. Like, they left the hospital, and I was like talking to my mom's friend, like, okay, like I'm not in the mental space to like deal with all of them and all of this, but just for the sake of just keeping the peace and like respecting just everything that's going on, I'm gonna meet at my mom's house and we'll just go from there. We'll figure it out, blah, 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 blah. So, like I said family members do certain types of drugs, so I don't know if they went off to do that or whatever, but we ended up getting to the house before they did. And again, not to go into like super crazy detail because it doesn't really matter, we finally like found my mom's will, and I had to read the will, like mentally preparing myself to do all these things and to be this really, you know, big girl that God's prepared to do all these things. And he sure did prepare me, because I read the will. And actually, no, I didn't read the will. My mom's friend read the will. I then looked at it because I was in shock of what it said, but it's fine. It totally worked out the way that it was supposed to. I honestly, was it painful? Absolutely. But I don't like regret, or I don't, things happen the way that they happen because God wanted them to happen that way. And as painful as it was, I'm good with it. If my 2 cents of what God's doing matters. But like, so she reads the will, and it basically says in like legal jargon terms that said family member, my mom's sister, gets everything because my mom provided for me while she was living. So that just made me feel like absolute trash. Yeah, no clue how to even describe it. So I had like built up myself and just like asked the Lord to strengthen me and like I'm all right, like this has got to get done, like, you know. And I think because I'm just used to doing things on my own, and I had spent time, you know, the last couple of years like back and forth, like helping my mom redo her house and paint, and just I learned a lot of like homeowner types of things. So I was helping her because she wasn't really mobile, and I guess just to like hear that like I just like wasn't, I guess, a part of anything anymore, it kind of felt like. And so this, you know, her sister, this family member, like we obviously do not see eye to eye on many things, and that was just really hard to swallow. And so like right before the will was read, I was like, okay, like if I have to figure out how to handle all this, like I hate to say this, but like you guys are gonna have to go back to Florida. Like they didn't even live in the state, but whatever. I was like, you know, you're gonna have to go back because I not to be rude, I just don't trust you guys in my mom's home, you know, like regardless of emotional things and just conflict and just regular people being people. Like my mom worked very hard, and I just didn't want her stuff to be destroyed, I guess, or taken or whatever they would do to it. But anyway, so after the will was read, I was just kind of like, okay, well, I'm not needed here, so I'm going to go back to my house. And that, I guess, was kind of just like a, like, maybe like part of it being like a defense mechanism kind of thing, but I just was so in shock. And like, my aunt really wasn't like around. Like my mom did a lot of the visiting, not them. So it was just really bizarre to me that like when they finally did show up, this happened. And I know that's not like their fault per se. You know, it just, the timing of everything was just all really, really bizarre. Especially considering like the things that I was praying about and the things that the Lord was revealing to me and the things that I was learning about, you know, witchcraft and being delivered from certain things and generational curses. It was just very overwhelming. Like I was learning a lot of things and in a very short amount of time, and it seemed like my entire life was a lie. People that I thought were A, B, and C were X, Y, and Z. Like people that I thought were good were not. People that I thought were that loved me did not. People that and it just seemed like everything was not the way I thought it was, with, I guess, rose-colored lenses. I think it's like rose-colored glasses, like when you just look at things as positive. And I don't know, I just felt, not only did I feel deceived in like, that's my dryer. Not only did I feel deceived in like what I was doing, like trying to heal spiritually. This is a really long beep. It's like I also felt deceived just my entire life. Like I felt like I don't really know anything anymore. Like the only thing that I knew, the only thing that I was concrete about was like that I was saved, that Jesus died for my sins, and that I was going to be okay because that's what God's word said. And like he had equipped me for, yeah, like that was the only thing that was like real to me, because everything else I had lost, or everything else just was just not what I thought. So I left and I came home, and it, like I said, it was hard because it's hard, but at the same time, like I didn't have, I guess I was emotionally like detaching from everyone because I had already been by myself, and I had already been, this is ridiculous. I had already been through so many things that I was kind of trying to dig myself out of whatever, I guess, hole that I put myself in simple terms. So I get home, and my mom worked for the state, so there were some benefits with the state, and she had all of her other stuff. So like I was trying to help call places, and like I eventually just told them like, hey, if I'm not gonna, and it's not about me getting anything, like nobody wants to like be like that, you know, but it's like I'm just getting hit in the chest every single time I call a life insurance company, and they're like, yeah, you're not the beneficiary. Yeah, you're not the beneficiary. Yeah, you can't get that information. And I'm just like, so I'm gonna let you guys call, and if there's something that you guys need me to do, please let me know. But like, this is literally killing me. This is my mother. This is all I've got. I don't have a relationship with my dad. I don't have any siblings. I don't talk to anybody else in my family. And like, this is just, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. Like, it was horrible. But I was in my own space. I was in my home. I just kept just clinging to God. Like, it just, I don't even know how to explain it. So like I said, I was coaching volleyball at the time. And so later on in the season, I ended up having to quit because I think because I was like, oh, I've got it and I'm so strong and I can do everything by myself. Like, not by myself, like God doesn't exist, but I'm used to doing things by myself. Like, I couldn't really like handle all of it, and I was super overwhelmed. Then one Saturday that I actually randomly had free, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to my mom's house and just get like my horse show ribbons from when I was a kid. I had volleyball awards and stuff that I had that I didn't obviously have at my house. And so, you know, my mom had just bought mattresses for the house because she was trying to redo everything. And I had just bought a mattress, which I could have obviously used for my house. But anyway, so I get to the house and I had texted said family member, hey, I have a random free Saturday because, mind you, I coach volleyball. So there's tournaments every weekend. Literally, December starts practice, January starts tournaments, and I'm busy until the middle of the summer. So that was part of the reason that I was like, I hate to say this, but you guys, if I was going to be the one doing everything, I was like, I kind of need you guys to leave because I don't know when I'm going to be able to come back here. Like, I'm slam busy. And I was literally in the process of starting a new job at the bank. Like, my mom passed away. I started my new job Monday. So it was just a lot at one time for me. So I get to the house. I run by the tournament that my girls are like helping to, they're working it. It's a younger tournament, so the older girls are working it. So I run by the tournament, say hey to them, and I go, you know, up the road to try to like, just, I don't know, like get my stuff. Like, first of all, it's my room, you know? And so anyway, I get there and like it's my aunt. I don't even care anymore. I don't know what to say. But anyway, so like she doesn't let me in the house. And like mind you, I have the key. Like, so I'm like, well, I texted you. I'm not like breaking in the house. Like, it's like 12 o'clock, like 11:30, 12 o'clock. I'm like, I texted you at like 9 saying like, hey, you know, I'm on the way to grab some stuff, blah, 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 blah. Mind you, they don't live there. Like, the house hasn't gone through probate. Like, my mom just passed away like a couple of days ago. So I'm just like, well, if it's cool, like I'm just gonna grab some of my childhood things, like some memories. My mom liked to cook. Like, I have nothing from that experience or from my childhood like life, and I'm gonna be on about my way. And I was good with it, but that was literally the only Saturday that I had. So like, I knock on the door and she just looks at me and like, y'all, I really like, I know everybody has different beliefs and things like that, but this is something that I experienced, so it's very hard for me to talk about. And anyway, so I look her in the eyes and like, it just doesn't look like who I'm thinking I should be looking at. It just felt very weird. And so I knocked on the door and I was like, hey, I was like, I'm just here. I was like, I sent you a text, like you didn't get it, like it's about lunchtime, you know? And so Jesus, please help me. So like, she's got like, not like foaming at the mouth, but you know how you get like sleep around your mouth, like you haven't slept and you're just like up all night. Like, she just looked very like anxious and like paranoid. Like, And I'm not trying, and again, this is not about the person. Like, it's just like, it wasn't normal. Like, it just was not normal. So I'm opening the door. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna have the key, like, you know, because the top lock isn't like it's a, I guess you called it like a bolt. I don't know, where you have to put the key in on both sides. So I'm like, well, I have the key, like, I'm good, you know, blah, 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 blah. So she starts pushing the door against me. And I'm like, I'm so confused. I'm like, wait a second, like, you don't live here, you know? Like, this is not, like, it's not my house, but it's not your house. And, like, my room is up here. It was just, like, super confusing. So I'm, like, pushing the door. And at this point, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm livid. Because I'm like, I just drove almost 2 hours to, like, come up here. It's not my fault that you're not awake. And I literally sent you a text. I wasn't trying to be rude or disrespectful. I'm not even trying to, like, talk to you, for being honest. Like, I genuinely just want to get my stuff. So, like, and mind you, I had just been in the house a couple days ago. So it just didn't make any sense. So she has a dog that is not very friendly. Have not pet it. I love animals, love them. Been around them for a very long time. Not that dog. So the dog is, like, barking at the door, like, going crazy, and that it's not really good for the dog, because I'm like, okay, you're just, like, adrenaline rushing your dog. Like, this isn't, and it's a pit. This is not a good situation. Like, I don't know what's about to happen, but I was just like, I just drove all the way up here, and I'm going in my room. So, like, I was just not, I don't know. So we back and forth at the door for like 5 minutes, and then I'm scared, not scared because I'm like, I'm by myself, like, I need to call somebody. So I call another family member and put my phone in my sports bra, because I'm like, somebody needs to hear this, because if something happens, like, it's my word against hers. And I'm not trying to be rude, but, like, she's not in her right mind. Like, she's not in her right mental state. Like, this is not good. And so I have another family member, like, on the phone listening to me, and I'm like, I'm not making this up. Like, I'm trying to talk on the phone, but, like, also, like, trying to get in the house. The dog is, like, freaking out. And mind you, I have the key. The door is open. So I just eventually, like, kind of get fed up. So then my aunt calls the police, and I'm like, okay, like, why? Like, I'm like, first of all, the house does not smell like you should be calling the police, first and foremost. And so I'm talking to her. I'm like, hey, I'm just letting you know. And I'm trying to, like, look her in the eye. So, like, you're getting what I'm saying. Like, I just want you to know that you're calling the police when the whole house smells like you shouldn't be calling them. Like, this is dumb. Like, what are we doing? Like, I just want to go to my room and leave. Like, this is crazy. So we backed and forth at the door for probably, like, I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes, if not longer. It felt like such a short amount of time because everything was just happening so fast. So I got fed up, and I had pepper spray on my keys. So I was like, I'm just going to pepper spray the dog, and I'm going to get inside, because that was just where I was at mentally. And she saw me get the pepper spray out and swipes my hand down to, like, move the pepper spray. With doing that, she opens the door more. The dog lunges at me, and I don't even realize that I get bit until I go to, like, another friend's house to literally mentally process, like, everything that just happened. So she's on the phone. Like I said, she was on the phone with the police, like, completely, I don't want to say, like, forgets that she's on the phone with the police, but I don't know if she thought that she hung up the phone and she didn't. So the police are like, hello. And I'm like, you're still on the phone with them. Like, I'm trying to help her so she doesn't get arrested, because it's a lot. Like, and I'm not, like, it was just a lot. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm in the house now, and I don't know what you're doing, but she just kept, like, kind of, like, taunting me, like, well, you need to leave before the cops get here. You need to leave before the cops get here. And I'm like, you're the one that's calling the police when you're, like, smoking in the whole house. Like, this is so stupid. And I'm just like, I just wanted to go get, like, I had some childhood Bibles in my room, like, from FCA camp, and just some things that I had as a kid. And I had, like, horse show ribbons from when I rode horses growing up, and all my volleyball awards, like, from school. They used to do, like, player of the week. So, like, I wasn't trying to, like, I was literally just trying to get my stuff. Like, so I'm like, when I have kids, like I have nothing to like, you know, for them to remember their grandmother. Like, she took the phone. I don't have any pictures from my mom's phone. I don't have any pictures from like my childhood. I mean, I barely have anything. So she starts like following me around the house. And if I'm being honest, y'all, like I have never thought that I was gonna swing, first of all, on a family member. Second of all, I'm not even a fighter. I have never thought that I was going to like just lose it on somebody. And it's embarrassing to talk about it now because that's just not even the person that I am. But I was so pushed and I was so frustrated and I was so just like hurt and just sad, and like what should have been an experience of people coming together for the good of like my mom and her house and taking care of things and our family coming together because we were already kind of apart. Like, it just destroyed. Like, I just felt like Satan was like ripping my family apart. Like, it was really that bad. I don't even know if like, I don't really even know if my words are like doing it justice. So she starts following me around. The police obviously eventually get there because they probably think it's like some like domestic violence thing or whatever. But they finally get there and like she grabs my arm and like listen. Okay, Linda, listen. Baby, listen. So I don't really like being touched, and I ain't married yet, so, but we all had a pre-saved life. So if you ain't touching me the way you supposed to be, if we're, you know, whatever, I'm saved, but don't act like y'all didn't live life. You know what I'm saying? Don't touch me. I don't do well with that. I don't even when I was out and I went to the club, don't be brushing against me. I didn't like that. I just don't like being touched. If I know you, we can hug, but don't be grabbing my arm. Like, I just don't do well with that. So, confessional moment. So this woman grabbed me, y'all. So she'd already broke my pepper spray, and I didn't have a CWP at the time, thank God. And I'm not even saying that I would have done anything like that because that's not my heart. But y'all, this woman grabbed me, and it's like I felt fire in my veins. And I just remember looking her in the face and being like, do not put your hands on me. And if y'all know me or have ever met my mother, if anybody is watching this, y'all know that like my mom was like real direct. Like she could kind of cuss you out with no cuss words. And I don't really get angry. I don't get mad. Like I said, I'm goofy and I'm funny and everything's great normally, but like, that was not a good moment. So then my uncle comes around the corner and he starts calling me the B word, and it was just not a really good situation. So then the cops get there and I'm just like bawling, crying, overwhelmed. I was able to get a couple of things, like literally a couple of things. And I just remember the police like being like, okay, well, her mom just died. And I'm like, I literally went to school over here. I went to school over here. This is not like, I'm literally, my mom just passed away a couple of days ago. And I just remember the police asking me, it was weird because this is where stuff kind of started adding up for me. And I didn't realize it then because there was just so much going on. But like, the police were like, is this an upgrade for her? Like, why is she reacting like this? Like, and I had asked to talk, mind you, she didn't want me to be there when the police got there, right? But I was like, well, I'm not scared of the police because like, I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, neither of us live here, but if anybody has any right to be here, like I have the key, like this is my childhood home, you know? And so I remember like the police talking to me and me like running out of the house, like going to the police, like, please help me, and trying to talk to them. And she was like trying to butt in, and I was like, absolutely not. Like, I want to talk to them on my own. Like, I want to talk to them on my own. And so I asked him, I said, you know, my mom just passed away. Like, I'm literally here trying to get stuff, you know, just from my childhood. Like, I'm not able, like, I'm busy. Like, I don't know how, you know, and yeah. So they had asked me if, it was an upgrade for her. And I was like, well, she gets the house now. I was like, but like, I already own a house. So like, I'm not after the material stuff. Like, I don't like need this house. And I know that sounds like it doesn't sound good when you say it now, but it's like my mom's house needed a lot of work, and it's a very large house, and it was too much house for my mom, which is what I was trying to tell her, especially being in the mortgage industry and like understanding like how she could have like sold her house and gotten something else and like whatnot, but like nobody would ever listen to me. So I was like, okay, I can't make you move, you know? But it ended up just being like just a horrible experience. So the police kind of gave me some advice. They were like, well, I was if I was smart, I would have gotten the stuff that I needed to get while they were there, but I was too overwhelmed to like, it was just too much. Like my mind could not, I didn't even realize that the dog had bit me. All this time I'm going up and down the steps and doing stuff and talking to the police, and like, I didn't even realize that I got bit. So, yeah, the police, like I left, the police left, and that was kind of it. And then I had gone to a friend's house just because I was like, I just need somewhere to go. Like, and I was in town, it's my hometown. So there was people I was like, hey, hello, how you doing, before I left. And, I went to use the restroom and I saw my leg and I was like, okay, whoa, I just got bit. Like I had no idea. And, you know, so ended up coming back home and needing to file a DHEC report on that because we were not on speaking terms and I didn't want to get rabies or whatever. And I just didn't know if I was going to need some type of like paper trail because of everything that was going on. And so like, I remember talking to a friend from my childhood's parents and like telling them everything that I was like going through, and just I'm still like really thankful that they even listened to me, because I kind of like, I knew I was in my right mind, but I was like, am I in a movie? Because like this is not normal. Like, and if it is normal, like I've never experienced anything like this, and I literally just feel like I'm about to lose my mind. Like, what is going on? And all I remember them saying is like, that's not how you get stuff. And that, you know, like, and just saying that she wasn't going to prosper, and like them just like shaking their head. Not that they were wishing bad on her or anything like that. It just like, it just wasn't a good situation. And like, it just didn't feel good. Like even the entire time that we were like across from the door, like I could hear my heart. Like, I don't know how to explain this, but I could hear my heart like beating out of my chest, like, and I just felt, Lord, please, like, y'all, I've been in seasons where I've only had Christ and just literally only had Jesus. So I'm not really afraid if people don't believe me, but that was probably, other than the whole medium scaring the crap out of me, like I wasn't necessarily like scared when all this was going on. I was more fearful for like the dog like attacking me, if that was the case, but she was able to pull it back. But like, and then she pulled it back and put it in the crate. Like, why didn't you just do that in the beginning? I was just there. Just put it in the crate. Just put it in the freaking crate. But like, being on the other side of the door and like looking her in the face, like that was the closest to something dark, and just like, that was the closest to any feeling of Satan or hell or anything dark that I had ever felt. That was, like I said, I don't normally get scared. I'm not, that's just not who I am. But I literally could feel like my like heart just like beating out of my chest, and it's like I could hear it. Like I was seeing everything that was going on, but like I could also like, I could feel like my body and like my insides were just not meshing or like reacting well to like whatever was going on in that house over there. It was just like not good. So after that, I got home and I just like ended up, you know, trying to like continue my life. And I remember coming home from church one day and there's a police officer at my door, and he was like, I guess you would technically call it like serving me papers, but long story short, she had filed a restraining order on me. I'm saying this backwards. So that was a couple weeks later. So I had tried to go back to the house to get my things, and I had a friend come with me, and I had called the police just so they could escort me, but she wasn't there. So that didn't work out because they had changed the locks. So, but after that, after the second time that I'd gone back, she tried to file a restraining order on me and then didn't show up for court. So it was dropped because I don't know. So that is really like the gist of the aftermath of everything. When my mom passed away, I tried to like condense this. I really was like, if I can just say this all and it be detailed, but also like the truth, and also not rush myself, because this is very hard to talk about. But I know that I'm not the only person that has experienced this, but I think because that was the only person that I had experienced like a funeral and like death and like all of that. Like I even tried to, like, I paid for my mom's like funeral stuff. She got cremated, and I'll have to put that in another video. Yeah, actually, I'm just gonna separate this one into two. So the funeral home thing was really interesting because I had gotten there a few minutes before said family members did. And I literally looked at the funeral director slash bishop slash reverend slash whatever his title was. Not to be disrespectful, I just don't remember. But I looked at him and I was like, listen, I would just want to do this. I want to do the right thing by my mom, and I want to get out of here. And my family's going to come in here and they're going to pretend that they're holier than thou, and they're going to pretend that, this is just not going to be real life. But I know, because the Lord has revealed to me, that this is generational and my mom is in heaven and I'm good. And I just want to do the right thing by her and go home. And that was actually what happened. And then I went to the house the first time, and then I tried to go back, and then the dog thing happened, and then I tried to go back again, and then they weren't there, and then I got their restraining order. Sorry, hopefully this is all making sense. So they get there, and then they're like, oh, we're Christians, so we just want, to make sure that, okay. And I'm like, what does you being a Christian have to do with my mom's cremations? Like her getting cremated? Like that doesn't even correlate. She's already deceased. Like she's gone. So there were just like a lot of things that my family said that I don't want to say they mocked God, but there were just a lot of things that they said that were not they were just not things that I would have said. They were because they don't believe in Christ. They don't believe in Jesus. And that's their choice, right? But it's like, to say that you do in a circumstance and situation like that, and then you don't, and it was just not good. And I think it was even like crazier because I had gotten there before them, and I had literally just told all the people, I was like, listen, this isn't gonna be, we're not all buddy. Like they can sit here and pretend like that, but this is horrible. So that's all I've really got time for right now because I have to get ready for work. But like I said, I hope that this helps somebody, and I hope that some of my stories can just help y'all know that, y'all, Jesus is just, God does not play about his people. That's all I want to say. And even as I sit and like regurgitate all this, like it's really hard because it was really sad, and it was really just, in a perfect world, it wouldn't have gone like this, but God does not play about his people, and he has more than reassured me of that. But I have to run because I don't want to be late for work. But I'm probably gonna try to record the rest of this tonight because I really don't want to I don't want to keep dragging this on. Like, I know that the Lord wants me to talk about this, but like, this isn't really like the cool part. This is like the sad part. So, yeah, but that's like another little piece of where I've been. So, y'all pray for me. I feel like my life is a movie. So, I will talk with you later.